Hello there, World of Tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm, of course, your host, World of Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about some major changes that are going to be occurring on my channel, especially for World of Tanks Blitz. Obviously, many of you know that I'm running two channels currently. If you didn't, where have you been for the past 5 months? But nonetheless, I am running currently two channels. And the second one, which will eventually become the main, has pretty much taken off by a storm lately, and it was all because of one meme video. But that's not what we're going to be talking about in today's video. We're not going to be talking about how the second channel took off or anything, because what I want to be talking about is Blitz in general, and the issues with the game, an honest, transparent opinion, and the future of my channel, and some of the things I'm going to be changing. Really big changes to the channel. Now, obviously, these are going to happen in the future. I just want to post that now. This isn't going to happen instantly. I'm going to be talking about clickbait, and people are going to be like, oh, why aren't you doing this instantly? Yeah, this is going to be for the future, maybe the next month, next couple months, because this is on the idea that my second channel continues to grow the way it's growing, and that I can make a modest living off of the second channel, not worrying about the total income off of my Blitz channel. But the first thing that I'm going to be talking about is Blitz itself. There are many days where I will spend 2 to 3 hours trying to record a singular Blitz video. And the reason for that being is because of the bad teams. Normally, a lot of people always think, and I don't blame you for thinking this because you can't see otherwise, normally when I post a Blitz video, I've probably had about 10 to 15 attempts before that on that, maybe not 10, maybe like 5 attempts, 4 attempts, depending on how the day goes. Sometimes I'll get it first try, but normally when I make a tank review on live gameplay, obviously live gameplay is hard because you can't just pick a good game. You can't cherry pick a good game you've had because it's all live. So what happens is if I have a really bad game and my team's absolutely horrific, I'll just be like, okay, I guess I'll restart the recording and do it again because I'll be angry and then I'm like, ugh. So I'll just restart the recording. And sometimes I'll have to do that 3, 4, 5 times, and it'll take a lot of my time out of the day because I have to do that. And, well, starting in the future, I'm no longer going to be doing that. Because Blitz is in the state that it's at and the teams are bad, I'm not going to be lying to you guys pretending the game's in a better state than it is. I'm not going to pretend like if you're the best player in the world or even a good player, that if you play this tank like this, you will win every single game, because you won't. That's the hard truth, but it's true. You will not win every single game that you play in this game. And as good as you are, you could be like Fatness, you could be like me and have 70+% win rate for 30 days and still get really mad at the game. And that's an issue I've had for a while with this game. I have dropped over 90% of my games in the last month. And honestly, I'm happier, never been happier. And the reason for that being is because all Blitz does is it gives me stress. Every single day, I think about how I have to average the same amount of damage. And you could say just don't average it, but that's just how my mind works. I'm a pretty competitive player, and because of that, I always try and average the same amount of damage. I'm worried that if I lose my average, people are going to stop thinking that I'm as good of a player as I am, and it just gets me worried. So because of that, I always try and keep my averages up. So, I'll try and average, like today I went like 3,300 average on the 183 for 20 games. I'm always trying to keep my average damage above 3,000, my average win rate above 70%, but honestly, I don't care anymore. I don't give enough Fs to care about my stats and as well the teams in the game anymore. If my team does bad, I'm going to leave it in there because I think it's honest that you guys should see the bad teams in this game and hear my opinions on them as I'm dealing with those teams, because it's so irritating every single time I have to restart a recording because of a bad team. So I think this will be better for you, because if I have a bad team, I'll just do 3 games then for that, that recording. So that's the one thing I wanted to start off with. The second thing is I'm going to be starting to do honest reviews. Now, obviously, I always do honest reviews. That's one thing I've always said about my channel, is even though the title and thumbnail may be clickbait to try and get you to get on the video, what I'm saying in the video itself will not be clickbait. What I will always say is an honest opinion on that tank. So if I'm doing an IS-7 video, I will always do an honest IS-7 review. That's going to change because now, if my second channel takes off and becomes the main, I'm not going to do clickbait thumbnails and titles anymore because there's no need to. Obviously, I'll still post videos on future tanks coming into the game and blah, 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 but for the most part, I'm not going to be doing clickbait stuff anymore because there's no point to. If I'm making enough money on my main channel and Blitz is just kind of like a hobby that I can earn extra money on, then I'm not going to need to post clickbait content. So this is way better for you guys. And you know what? If people are only clicking on my videos for clickbait content, then shame on them because that's their problem and not mine. I'm not going to worry about that. If you're only clicking on my videos because I'm posting something that has to do with clickbait content and you don't care about a tank review because you think you're hot stuff, well, that's a shame on you. And honestly, you should feel ashamed that you don't care about learning to get better on the game, and you'd rather watch a 10-minute funny video, learning absolutely nothing and just doing nothing. That's one thing I will always say, especially about Blitz, is most YouTubers post Blitz content so that you can get better. You'll notice the shifting of tides in Blitz over the years is that it went from, like Bushka, posting Blitz content on how to get better to now just strictly, this tank you've never seen before, this tier 4 is really, really fun and you should try it. It's really changed massively in the Blitz community on how reviews are done, and I want to put it back to what it originally was because that's just one thing I feel should be held with Blitz a higher standard. The other thing is I'm done dealing with wargaming. I'm pretty sick and tired of it because it's so irritating to me personally, as somebody that knows a lot of the faults with the game and would help the game with personal opinions and just being blown off. And even when I had a discussion with one of the wargaming employees the other day, or the other week, should I say, and it actually turns out that he agreed with me that I was right in the end, but he still said they're not going to do anything about it. It was about testing tanks and how they should be public and how stats should be public, and YouTubers should be able to play these testing tanks on an open test server that everybody can play in so they can know how the vehicles are and if they want to get them themselves. And pretty much they replied, we don't want people doing that because when we nerf a vehicle, we don't want YouTubers making a video titled Huge Nerf. And I'm not joking, that's quote unquote what they said. Now, first of all, I'm going to make a video on the YOH being nerfed anyways, probably tomorrow or one day this week, because they nerfed it. And I'm going to title it, This Tank Got a Huge Nerf, because obviously I want to get views. You have to get views if you want to make money for Blitz. So the first part about that is completely just a lie, because we're going to do it either way. Even if you don't let us test the vehicles, we're already doing it. So the fact that you're saying we're going to do it in the future doesn't change the fact that we already do. Second of all, it would only be better for the game if we were able to make reviews on the vehicle. If I made a video, quote unquote, playing the new vehicle and, what it's going to be like Quickie Baby does on World of Tanks PC, that would be so much better for the game. And honestly, I don't understand any reason to why you wouldn't want to do that. It would be better for the game. And I even put an example there. I said a good example would be the YOH. I guarantee this vehicle will be nerfed. And I said this before the tank was even nerfed statistically in testing. And I said that it will be nerfed. And guess what? YouTubers are going to make a video saying it was nerfed. This is Wargaming's fault for not balancing the vehicle correctly, not the YouTuber. And the YouTuber shouldn't be punished on views and watch time because a company made a mistake that is their fault. They should either get better people at balancing their tanks, or, as I said, they should listen to people's public opinions, which is why you should have vehicles' open opinions. It's not a vehicle was nerfed and, oh no, it's not going to be good anymore. It's like, oh no, a vehicle was balanced. Oh gee, people aren't going to buy it because it's balanced. Guess we have to think it's OP. That doesn't make sense, and that is actually irritating to me. The second thing that's very irritating about them was that then I made a comment after that he replied, maybe like an hour later, saying that another thing that should be changed in the game is that every single vehicle you research on the tech tree should have an instructional video on how to play it. A good example of this, let's say like the 183 you can see in front of me. Let's say you finish grinding the Tortoise, you get your hands on the FV2 5B 183. When you get your hands on the 183, you should be forced to watch a 1-minute video that teaches you how to play the game. Or not the game, but the tank, at least the tank, how to run it with equipment, what their equipment is from professional players. They could ask YouTubers or players like Fatness what they run on the equipment, and as well, they can show you a quick play style of how to run the vehicle. That's it. Simple. Take 1 minute, and then they could have every single tank do that. They could ask YouTubers if they want to take part, which I said would be a great idea to keep YouTubers wanting to post new content in Blitz. That would get them more views, more subscribers, and as well, get the game more money. You know what I got as a response? None, because it's been a week and a half now and I haven't gotten a response. That is actually ridiculous, especially because that exact same person that hasn't responded to me has typed about 15 times in the tournament chat that we have about the spring season tournament. So I know he's online. I know he's read my message. He's just decided to ignore me. That is just so disrespectful to not only me, that I know that you've seen my message, you're ignoring it, and don't care to respond, but as well that you care that little about the game. I don't care what company it is, you always want good for your company. And the fact that you don't want your players to get better makes no sense whatsoever to me. So that is things that I just don't understand and are beyond me. But not only that, second of all, I do give Wargaming some credit for making a new tutorial. Good job for Wargaming. They made a tutorial, and to what I'm aware, it seems pretty cool. I'm going to test it. Obviously, I'm going to make a video testing the new tutorial, but on the standpoint of that tutorial, they should force every single player to play that tutorial. And this also goes on the player. I've talked to many, many players, not only in Void, not only in other great clans, like we've had Pincer players, I've had, I don't know all the clans, but there's been a lot of clans that I've talked to, and some of these players have said that they do not want to do the tutorial, even if it's only 10 minutes out of their life. You know, they'll spend hours upon hours playing Blitz, complaining about their teams accomplishing nothing, to then do nothing the rest of the day, but they can't spend 10 minutes of their life watching a tutorial on how to get better for the greater good of the game. And you may be asking, you know, in the comments, well, why should I, a decent player, have to watch a tutorial so that bad players get better? Well, the reason for that being is because every single player should have to watch it. And you may say, well, only 50%ers should have to watch it. Well, how many times have you seen a 60% player that's Seal Clubs, or a 60% player that's just really bad at the game and tries to stat pad with smashers, suck at the game, and you'd hope that they watch the tutorial, but because you don't want to watch it because you're 60%, well, they don't have to watch it. That's kind of a good example of why every single player should have to watch the tutorial. There are super Unicums I've talked to, and I've taught them new things about the game that they didn't know. There are many things that many good players don't know, and the fact that people are so stingy and selfish that they don't want to watch a 10-minute tutorial is ridiculous to me. So anybody out there that was about to complain, I don't want to watch it because I know a thing or two about the game, shame on you, and that's just one thing I have to say. I really don't know what to say about that part. If you think that you are not having to watch a tutorial because you're better than somebody else, that is wrong, and yeah, you should know that. But other than that, there's really not much I have to say about today's video. That's the whole thing, is that I'm disappointed with Wargaming completely ignoring me, and this is something that's really, really frustrating, as I've seen a message about 15 times all around, just not to me, and it's been about a week. So that's something that's really annoying to me. When you have somebody that cares about the game, especially an influencer on the game, wanting to know your personal opinion on it, you should usually try and respond. That's just, you know, the common courtesy. Even if you don't agree with them, let's say he doesn't agree with my personal opinion, instead of just blowing me off and ghosting me, you know, you could just say, I'm sorry, unfortunately, we don't want to do that right now, maybe in the future. That's it. That's all you have to say. And I'm like, okay, understood. But because you've blown me off, that's gotten me annoyed and ticked off. So I don't really know what to say. But yeah, a lot of things in today's video. As I said, for the future, not currently, I'm going to be trying to make less clickbait content for you guys. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Not much else I need to say. Hopefully all of you are doing well out there. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.